Well, guys, I did not go to bed as planned by midnight, or even by 1. It's almost 2. I just went to my mom's room and got Omar. But the thing is, my mom's taken off for the day, so there'll be no distractions. In fact, make sure the phone is off. Yep. There will be no distractions. Once my mom leaves, I will be able to sleep straight through and nothing will wake me up. You know what I mean? That's not as bad as when I stay up and then, my mom's up and about and making phone calls or receiving phone calls or just living, as she has every right to do, So, that's that. I'm going to bed. I just got the beast. Woke him up. I wanted to quickly run something by you guys. I'm always watching this crap on the news, and I like to get other people's 2 cents. Whoever cares to comment. Apparently a guy was raking off his snow off his roof, right? And he got buried under snow for like 3 hours. He didn't suffer hypothermia. But what I don't understand, unless it was an error, and like they said the wrong thing on the news, how the hell does a full-grown man get buried under 3 feet of snow? Okay? He's not 3 feet tall. He looked pretty damn tall on the thing, but even if he was 5 feet tall, you know what I mean? But he's not. I don't think he's 5 feet tall. I think he's like average height for a guy, like 5'9", 5'10", might even be taller. How do you as a grown man, get buried under 3 feet of snow that you can't move? I would like somebody, and more than likely it'll be, if she watches this or if she cares to comment or to weigh in, it'll be Trouble with Tribbles who will explain this to me. How did this guy get buried? And I could see if it was like remember, I told you guys about that skating rink, and those people, those kids, got buried under snow. But it was over their heads. It wasn't 3 feet. Okay? And like she said, she was poking her head out or something, or he was and somebody helped them. They couldn't, but how do you get buried under 3 feet of snow, a full-grown man? Not a kid. A man. I want to understand that, because I don't. We're talking 3 feet. If it knocks you out, I would still think that you would be able to. He was aware of what he was doing. He was talking on the news, so he wasn't harmed. How do you get buried under 3 feet of snow that you can't get out of it? He said he couldn't move. But he was able to apparently to breathe. I don't get it, 3 feet of snow. Not with him not being hurt. If he was knocked out, that'd be one thing. He wasn't. He was talking on the news, it just happened. He didn't suffer hypothermia, and he wasn't hurt. But he said he was buried under 3 feet of snow and couldn't move. And his wife and daughter, I guess, came home or something, and they heard something and realized what had happened, and they got him out, but it said 3 feet. Now, do you think that was just wrong? It wasn't really 3 feet? 3 feet's not that much. No, if you're knocked to the ground and then 3 feet piles on top of you, I don't know. I would just think you'd be able to get out of it. If you told me it was like 5 or 6 feet that fell on top of him, then yeah, but 3? That's what it said, 3 feet. Obviously it didn't fall on top of him standing up, because it wouldn't be enough to bury him. So if it knocked him down, like an avalanche of snow came down off of his roof and knocked him down, I don't know, I would think he'd be able to get out. On an off note, on a side note, I'm going to open up, try, It was difficult before. It might be impossible now. You never know. I'm going to try to open the back door. So I can give you an updated film of the icicles, the ice dams hanging down. We might get more snow, but it's not supposed to be anything, like anything at all. Well, this snow might be winding down, and it might make me a bitch to say it, of course, because I know I would feel otherwise if I was dealing with all this shit with the commuter rail and the MBTA, the entire Massachusetts public transportation system, mass transit system. If I was having to deal with it every day and going to work and whatnot, I mean, I wouldn't be praying that we get enough snow for Boston to reach number one snowiest season ever in the history of record keeping in Boston. But Trouble didn't think I was a bitch. She thought, yeah, if you've come this far, you might as well go down in the history as number one. I mean, I know other people would not want that. They don't, especially when the ones who are having trouble getting to work, to and from every day and whatnot, they don't want any more snow to cripple. So I guess that makes me selfish, but when I say stuff like this, even to my mom, I joke around, I hope we get a blizzard, I hope we do this, I hope we do that. It doesn't matter what I hope. You know what I mean? I could hope that the Dark Ages come. I could hope that the Ice Age comes. I could hope that I have no power, no control over the weather, nothing. So what does it really matter? See, that's like a philosophical question. Because there are people who would instantly say, well, you shouldn't hope that. That makes you a horrible person. Theoretically, yeah. I'm not alone. I've seen people on the news admit it. There's one woman, even though we're having this horrible weather and the mass transit system is crippled and blah, blah, and people falling through, whatever, she's like, I find it exciting, She admitted it. Doesn't care if people think she's horrible, But the bottom line is it doesn't matter. Because it's going to either happen or not happen, and I have no power over it, so I can hope it. Why not? Why not? Hope for it, not hope it. I can hope for it. I bet I'm not alone. I'm just fairly certain that none of these people have been going through hell and back with trying to get to work. Remember a guy last week was saying he had to add in 4 extra hours, a woman 4 extra hours, 2 hours there, 2 hours back just to get to work. And that's sad. It's sad, and I'm not going through that. But again, I have no control over the weather, so it really doesn't matter if I hope that, Boston only needs like little less than 6 inches to reach all the history of record keeping in Boston. Again, they use Boston as a focal point, but if that's taking place in Boston, it's taking place in most of the cities in Massachusetts, you know what I mean? So, that's my take on that. I know, technically, you get into philosophy there, If you're hoping for something like that, that makes you horrible, because the snow is wreaking such havoc on so many people's lives. You shouldn't hope for there to be more snow just because you want Boston to hit some silly record. You're right. I shouldn't. But a lot of things that shouldn't are. See? And if I tried to say, I try to be so Pollyanna, no, I don't hope for that, it's horrible, I want it to just, I want spring to come early, and I don't want us to get another speck of snow, I'd be lying. See, so why lie? I'm aware of how much havoc it's wreaking, but I need a little under 6 inches to reach the all-time record of the history of Boston, the snowiest season ever. I know, I'm sorry. You wouldn't be saying that if you were going through what we're going through, says all these people I don't know. You're right, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. Not at all. But I wasn't wishing this when it was far, far away from the record. Like Trouble said, it's so close. It's so close, you might as well reach it. And even the news people, they make a game out of it. They tell you, They tell you. They're like, it's almost, we're at number 2. And it's kind of sadistic, because reaching number 1 means all of these storms and all of these people going through hell. And they were showing them crammed in like sardines on the commuter rail. And, I'm like, thank God it's not me. Because even if it does happen to be me once or twice or even a few times before the winter ends, it's not me on a daily basis, so I understand where people are coming from. But I also see the humor in it, because I have no control, so hoping it happens, it's just like, people hope they win the lottery. My mom, when it was a huge Powerball, we need to get a ticket, go ahead, get a ticket. And she's like, someone has to win, you have more chance of being hit by lightning 12 times in a row, I think, or something, or I don't know, than winning the lottery. The odds are so stacked against your mom. It's unfathomable, But you can't win unless you play, oh, that's true. And people do win, oh, that's true, Mom. And I've played it on occasion once in a blue moon, but for the hell of it, I have. When I was up to like 600,000, got a ticket, I think. Just for fun. This morning he didn't wake me up until like 6 or a little after 6. Probably because I went and got him in my mama's room, and it might disrupt him waking up and then he doesn't realize what time it is or something. I don't know. I don't know the logistics of the pug mind. And I just know there was no poo-poo on the floor today. And that is because I was vigilant about putting him in the carrier and then taking him out to go to the bathroom. And then he finally went for me, and it wasn't all the way until the nighttime either. It was in the afternoon. There's no guarantee after that he won't go on the floor, because a lot of times he's supposed to, and sometimes he'll go poo-poo 2 or 3 times in a day. So I didn't see any poo-poo anywhere, so that might mean when we get up in the morning, if he has to go, he'll go. But even if he doesn't go in the carrier in the morning, remember. When I have no life, technically, you know what I mean? So even when my mom, if I was waking up and she took him out, and it doesn't matter that he doesn't go poo-poo, he was going back to bed with me. This morning, went back to bed. Yesterday morning, because that's the next day, it's like 2 in the morning, but yesterday morning he went back to bed from like 6 or 7 to 12, something like that. I have to sleep from 1:30 to 6. So anyway, so that's what happens. And so he's not in the carrier like all damn day long. It's only after we're actually up for the day, and when I stay up real late at night. My up for the day is like 12 or 11, you know. He sleeps too. It's just like anything. If he was up and about, he'd be drinking water, but if he's in here with me and I'm not drinking water either, I'm asleep, he's asleep, and, you know. And that was all she wrote. But yeah, unless you're injured, I don't see how you can literally be buried under 3 feet of snow. It doesn't make sense to me. Not when you're a full-grown man. A kid, yeah, but a full-grown man who didn't look to be like 5 feet tall, you know. I don't see how he was buried under 3 feet of snow, and I want someone to clear it up for me, if they can. Tell me the logistics of that one. Bearing in mind that he didn't suffer hypothermia. He said he couldn't move, but he was aware that he was under the snow. And he obviously was able to breathe, or he'd be dead. He said he wasn't gonna die that way. He was not gonna go that way. So he was thinking of his wife and his kid. He wasn't gonna go that way, he said. I just don't get it. 3 feet of snow, how do you get buried under 3 feet of snow? And this is gonna end any second, but I'm wondering how much snow is in my mom's yard. I mean, I told you Boston has 101 inches. Fucking. "96 inches would be 8 feet, so 8.5 feet. Now I look at my mom's side of my mom's yard, and it definitely does not look like it's 8 feet high. So I guess we've had some melting, you know what I mean? Even though it's very little, because I guess whenever there's any sun, it has to be some melting, right? Because it's not 8 feet deep snow in my mom's yard. It can't be. Maybe where it's piled up with the roof, and the people who snubbed off the roof, you know, piled it up, but not in general. But when you just think about that much snow, and it hasn't melted, it's a different situation than what happened in 95, 96, with a record that Boston is either they're going to beat or almost beat, but that was a whole winter's worth. This all took place just, you know, in the month of February, like a short amount of time, practically. So that's what's kind of weird about it. It really has just piled up and piled up. But to the tune of 8 feet, I don't think so. I don't know, though. My mom was horrified when I told her that one of my friends wants me to venture onto the backyard. She thinks it would be good for me to do it, just to have that adventure, just to whatever, not be afraid. But a lot of things involved, including the fact that the backyard is kind of far away when you're thinking about it being soaked to the skin, you know. I want to know how that guy got buried under 3 feet of snow and couldn't move. To me, 3 feet's not that much. You know? Oops, and look at this. I forgot to put that down. I haven't done that in a while. Oh well. People just have to listen to me.